All right, welcome back to the Nice Fast channel, guys. I still got my light over here because I was doing some shorts. Hold on, let me kill this. By the way, welcome. Say hello to Ren and Stimpy, Powdered Toast Man, Log TV, and Choo Choo. Charlie Brown, Gimli, me, and you. And let's get started. I see a ton of folks in the chat, and that is cool. I see Tim B. I see Keith the Knife Freak, 2 mods right off the top. Awesome dudes. There's Jim Miller, Mrs. C, both channel members, Justin, Ohio. Andrew Hubbard, another awesome channel member, was just chatting with Andrew. Ryan Dye. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Jim. Hello, everybody. Hello, Rule Number 9, David, another channel member. Joe Kasparek. Let's see, who else am I missing here? James Alton, another channel member. Christopher Wheeling. Hello. There are 34 people in here. Mike Curtis, another channel member. Hello. Delta 9, what is going on? And to those of you who jumped on here last night because some doofus put the wrong night on the schedule, I salute you for your dedication. But thankfully, Bluminati told me, and I changed it in time. Hey, Sonny Robinson, what is going on? Hey, Richard Campbell, what is happening? And good to see all you folks. Now, if you didn't get the memo, our friend, let's see, I actually think, no, that looks worse, doesn't it? I was going to say, I wonder if that light actually helps. Let's see. I wonder if I bring it down like this. Ooh. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Is that terrible or is that good? All right, hold on. No, I don't want it that close. And we'll dim it down just a little bit. I don't know. I think that's terrible, actually. What do you guys think? Is that better or worse? It looks like I'm being interrogated. Let's see. Oh, no. Now I've messed everything up. That's what happens when I just start playing around here. All right, Fly, you're gonna die. Yeah, I don't know. Like it with, or yeah, I don't know. That's too much. Let's dim it down. I don't know. Maybe that's not bad. Let's bring this in. Just there we go. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. All right. Hello, Justin, Ohio. Yeah, I got distracted, but that's what I do. Now, if you guys did not do it, Tim is hooking you guys up. If you didn't know, Ben from Jack Wolf Knives will be here in a little bit, tonight's guest. And guys, here is a link to Jack Wolf Knives. Thank you, Tim. He will be on here in a little bit, and we're going to be talking about Jack Wolf Knives, of course, and we're going to be talking about the Pioneer Jack, the sodbuster pattern here. And you guys think the light looks okay? Somebody's acting like I'm being interrogated, so I don't know. And this guy goes on sale Friday, the 22nd, at all your favorite retailers at 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Let's open her up. This is a hey, John Hedinger. Hello, sir. It is a drop point blade on a really cool looking handle. I mean, this is great for holding on to. This guy is not going anywhere, and it's a heck of a worker. Very, very excited for you guys to check these out. Hey, Kresk. Hey, let's see. I saw somebody else. Who was it? I know I saw somebody else. Your beard is fluorescing. Okay. So, yeah, maybe this light isn't good because it's actually messing with my focus, too. Here, we'll just do it like this. How's that? What do you guys think? No, come on. All right. I think I'm just going to kill it because I think it's actually messing with the focus. So, we're going to kill it. All right. Now, let's see if we can get the focus back. All right. We're going to do that. And hopefully that's fine. It looks like it always does. And I think it looks pretty cool. Maybe wear the ring light as a necklace. I don't know about all that. Hey, Chris Hinkle, what is going on, man? Good to see you. Very, very good. All right. We're going to forego pocket checks for the time being because I see, you know what? Before I am really struggling. Before I bring Ben on, I've got to put my earbud in so I can actually hear him. Ground control to Major KC. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you're sick for 2 weeks. 61, Ash. 61, Miss Ashland. And there we go. There is Mr. Ben. Ben, help me, man. I'm struggling. So,
Save our ship, huh?
Yeah, and I'm not hearing you on this, so give me just a second. We'll get it fixed up.
What's up,
But I
everybody?
did hear you. I heard you on the speaker here. So, so how you doing today, man?
Good, productive Monday. Can't complain. How about
Well,
you?
that's good. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can say productive about my day. Everybody at work was driving me bonkers today. It seemed like you ever have one of those days? I mean, this is basically exactly what today was. It was that day where you chase one lead on a problem you've been working on and it opens like 32. That's exactly what today was about for me. So which is good. I made progress on solving a long running issue, but at the same time, it's just like, can we just move on now? So yeah, but that's the kind of day it was. I get it, man. Well, you're looking good, man. Good to have you on.
Thank you.
And everybody say hello to Ben in the chat here. And well, I already see a lot of hey Bens there. Very good. And I see Paul Bessemer just jumped in. Very cool. Hello, Paul. And guys, as I said, we are here tonight to talk to Ben. We're going to have fun, but we're also going to talk about the Pioneer Jack, and he's got the plain tie one there, and I've got the dark matter fat carbon dark matter blue. Is that the right order to say it in?
That's it.
Yep, fat carbon dark matter blue. These are dry. Ooh, all right, hold on. Let's see if mine comes up to that level of. Yeah, I mean it's pretty close, but yours has just like a pow.
This got to break in a little bit, but
too, I think. But yeah, definitely has some snap. Very, very nice. And what when a guy that hasn't ever used a knife to work in his life left to EDC calls this a fantastic work knife, I think you've really done something.
Well, he moved, so he had to
right. He did get to cut open boxes, and Yep, that works. You said something in your video. For those of you that don't know, Ben records a video for all of us reviewers to kind of, I always end up emailing Ben. I mean, texting Ben and asking him 1,000 questions. But for those that don't, he answers a lot of questions. And one of the things you said, Ben, and I don't even think this is the right word. You said this one because of the swedge going out to the tip and it being a drop point, it's a little thicker, a little. And I think thick is a tough word because I don't think I would call this thick. It is still pretty dang thin, but I think what you're saying is it's got more of a robust working tip, which I think is pretty dang sweet. And a lot of us love drop points, so this really really does it, man.
Yeah, we went back and forth in prototyping on the blade grind for this, and we did one version that was thin, like thin, like many of my other, like the clip point designs typically, and it just was not right for this, for the philosophy behind this one. The way I look at a sod buster, we can say sod buster on a live stream.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem.
The way I look at a sod buster is like, it's not, it's a knife for the outdoors, it's a knife for the garden, it's a knife for, cutting open a burlap bag or, a bag of cement powder, stucco or drywall or whatever, not drywall, stucco. And you don't want to snap the tip on that type of knife. So there's just a little more, you can tell when you look at the spine. There's just more meat up here.
That's kind of what I was saying. If you look here, there's a gunslinger over here. You can see how thin it is towards the tip.
100%.
Yeah, you can totally see the difference here. By the way, Ben, just out of curiosity, we all know that slip joint patterns go back a lot of years, and it's just like Kleenex. By the way, I just blew my nose with a Kleenex. Okay, but we all tissues. Okay, so to me, like when we say trapper or we say stockman or we say, whatever, that's, so is there a name that predated the Sodbuster name, or is that the original name of this pattern? I don't know.
From the research I did, these were farmer's knives or butcher's knives.
Okay.
And I don't, presumably Case came up with the name Sodbuster. Like the term Sodbuster predates Case calling the knife a Sodbuster. But
That's what I was wondering. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but when Case called this knife the Sodbuster, it was like the perfect name, and it just stuck. And so, at least here in America, when we see a knife that looks like this, we're just calling it a Sodbuster. But they have the trademark, so that's why GEC calls it a bullnose, for example.
Right, Kresk. Here's the thing. I'm in the camp right now that there isn't that it is very hard for us as reviewers or us as designers to come up with the perfect name for a blade shape anymore. There are so many interpretations. So he's saying more like a straight back than a drop point. And there is a drop to it. There is a drop.
From this point on, this kicks down.
It definitely kicks down, but I can see what you're saying. There's a lot of straight going on from here to here, but it definitely kicks down from the handle.
If you put it on a table, Casey, if you put it on a table and push the spine down, you can see that.
Absolutely. Yep. You can. Oh, yeah. So it definitely kicks to the tip. Case was Workman first. Do you mean it was called the Workman knife, James? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know what you mean by that. By the way, wow, Ben, I've been buying here. I gotta show these so I've been slowly amassing a little. I've only got 3 so far, but I've been amassing a little collection of Northwood slips. And I think, I think I sent you a picture, but this pair, I'm not sure there can be a better pair than these two. It's just fantastic. Troy did a fantastic job. But I told you a while back that I was looking for the perfect knife to treat myself to a slip that I've wanted for a long time, and you did it. So nice. I've ordered a slip for this from River over at Sage Grouse. And so I'm finally gonna get one of his. He's doing the turquoise one to go with the blue in this. And I think that's gonna look awesome. I'm on his books. Who knows when I'll get it, but that's a busy dude. But excited to do something kind of different for this one. It kind of feels like it deserves, basket weave and a sodbuster. I think it fits.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yep. Jeremy says, I've got me a plain tie Pioneer waiting till the end of the week. There you go, Freak Show. Awesome, man. That's what he's got right there. So what is what's your thought on the tie now that you've seen it twice? How do you feel about that with your particular slip joints and now what's the coating called again? I'm sorry, I always get it wrong.
What, the DLC? You talking about the DLC?
No, no.
The blast?
The treatment you do on the blast on
it's an aluminum oxide blast.
Aluminum oxide.
It's the blast. It's like the granules they use in the blast cap.
Okay. So they're just bead blasting it basically. I got it.
It
just has a real dark color to it. I like it.
I think it just depends on the coarseness or the material they're using to blast it with. So this has always been my preference, the dark. I love the full tie. And I think it makes a really good variation that people have as an option relative to what I've been doing. And I think it really looks good. Oh, it almost jumped out of my hand. I think the full tie with the hand satin is like just an amazing combination.
Yeah.
So, Jeremy, I'm curious what you think about the finish when you get it.
Yeah. And I'm just happy to see Jeremy get a Jack Wolf that's got some other kind of. Well, he did get the gunslinger in a different pattern, a different color. But Ben, I think I'm going to attempt to take the Pioneer apart and do some anno work. Uh-oh.
I encourage you. Go for it, dude. It's like you got a great.
He can do it. He can do it.
Anno is about as entry level knife modding as a guy can get into. So go for it, dude. I'd love to see what you come up with.
Interesting.
I like it, man. When you really look at this titanium in the light, it kind of sparkles a little bit. I don't know what it is. It's just cool. And
That is cool. I'm gonna have to get a titanium one of yours soon. When I saw the blue, you know me, I had to do the blue. So
I think people will like it. And I don't know if you guys saw Donnie, who works with me. He posted a picture in the Facebook group. He basically just let his ride with his keys in his pocket and let it get all scratched up, snail trailed up. It looks so freaking good.
oh, okay.
It looks amazing with that kind of, like, he didn't force it. He just threw it in his pocket with probably his keys, I guess.
Right.
And man, it's not
if
glass
it sparkles, beads, then they blasted it with glass beads.
Glass beads usually a lot more silvery.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, see, like the bead blast, this is Kubi's bead blast right here.
Yeah.
On this guy. You saw this. I think this is the one I sent you guys. And so you can see that's a little more shiny, shimmery looking. I don't know. It's hard to say. Everybody uses a different medium, I guess.
I got it. The walk and talk on these is freaking awesome. I mean, they're just awesome.
You see James's comment here. He says, my older case sodbuster was called a Workman blue.
Yeah, believe it.
Interesting.
I'm not the best historian. I'm more of a collector, not
right
historical buff.
I just think it's interesting. That's all. Yeah,
it is for sure. I just wish I knew more about it. But all I know is from my research, it's a pattern that's been around for a long time, and it's found in a lot of different cultures.
And it's a very simple pattern. I mean, if you think about it, you're talking about, well, in your case, you did make it yours as far as the handle goes. It's a very bin shape to the handle, which I think is cool. By the way, what I think is really cool, and you guys may not pick this up from our videos, and I think I mentioned it in my unboxing, it's sort of faceted on the top here. So you go, it's not like a curve. It's like flat to a little corner to flat to a little corner to down to another corner to another corner. So it's kind of geometric on the back spring. And then they just nailed it.
Yeah.
With all that. It's
just,
can you see the facets there, guys? There they are.
They can see it on mine for sure.
Yeah.
That was something I first did with the Cyborg. And I was like, yeah, that's going to be sort of like, the Cyborg was my design and it suited my sense of, I guess, style. Where I like the old, more organic shapes of the older slip joints, but I like modern angular things. Like, I like boxy cars from the 90s. You know what I mean? Like the stuff today that looks so fluid, it's not my favorite. So when I did that for the Cyborg, I was like, yeah, that's how I can sort of modernize these classic patterns without going
make it yours, right? Make it yours,
and make it something unique to my brand.
Yep. Yeah. What I think is super cool here. Now you don't have a guard down here by the blade, but what's happening is with this curve to the back of the handle, it gives you something to hang on to. So you definitely, I mean, even if you choke back a little bit or whatever, it's almost like a pistol grip. And it gives you this something to grab onto. So I would think if you were working with this and you had wet hands, you would be just fine. You're not, gonna have a problem with that.
No, this one you get in there.
Yep,
for sure,
absolutely. And what's been everybody's reaction? I saw the Ultem there. What's been the reaction you're hearing on the Ultem?
Dude, I got to tell you, the amount of nerves that I experienced with that Ultem, and just people are over it. They don't like it. They say
right.
This.
Timing is terrible.
You hear everything, but like people buy shit made out of Ultem, and so I just was so unsure about it. And the minute it got announced, it's had more positive buzz than any of the other ones. And I was like, man, I really negative self-talk myself.
Right.
To a corner.
That's cool.
For no reason.
That's cool. I was telling you about Patty yesterday on RJ's live. I forgot to tell you one thing he said that I thought, and again, if you do this now, it's not going to be your idea, but I thought this was cool. He said, how cool would it have been if Ben had like a howling wolf back here on the titanium under the Ultem? Like in black.
Interesting thought.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought.
I never thought of that until he said that. I was like, oh man.
I've been thinking about what to do with this, and honestly, my first thought, I guess I don't really talk about what I'm going to do, but this is still conceptual, so I'd like to know what you guys think in the audience. Is like, what if I did some skeletonization in the titanium liner under it? You know, not like a giant pocket, but maybe just
like
some cool shaped pockets under there,
right.
so you could see the blade and maybe see the cutting edge.
You know what you could do, Ben? They could do it. You could do like a JWK under there.
You could. You know,
that would be pretty cool.
And the other thing I thought about was, so the scale screws, you can see them in there. And I wasn't, not the scale screws, I'm sorry, the body screws.
The body screws.
You know, and I was like, so those are not titanium. These screws are titanium, like the pivot and the scale screws.
Okay,
but
the body screws are not, right.
I was like, I could have maybe done those in titanium, and if they can, presumably they could, and then you could dark blast them so they wouldn't stand out so much. But then people were like, "Oh, it's so cool! You could see the screws," and I was like, "Oh, man."
You see the inner workings of it, and people like that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's very hard to account for taste. You know what I mean? It's as much as I like to. In fact, you'll never even hear me say with confidence that I know what people are going to like. It's so hard to know, you know? The best thing I can do is bring things to the market and see what people react to and just do more of that.
Gotcha.
I'm really happy with the Ultem. The other thing, too, is we went back and forth on how to finish it.
Okay, yeah, you're big on how to finish things. So, yeah,
dude,
that's...
You know, I look at that like, okay, you could go into a new house, beautifully constructed, right?
Yep.
Like all underlines of the house, if you knew, like no skimping on anything. But like if the paint's ugly and the tiles are ugly and they use the wrong color wood on the cabinets, all you can focus on is how damn ugly that house is, you know? Where like 90%, 95% of the house is fine. It was just the finishes they got wrong, and it's such a turnoff. So I really focus on that top layer. That is what people observe, because you got to get that right. And we ended up just
so
with we ended up with
okay, yeah.
And dude, it's sweet.
So somebody asked me, and I think the answer is absolutely no. But can you RIT dye Ultem? And I would say no.
I don't think so. My understanding is like they use it in industry, they use it in medical equipment. I would be quite certain the stuff's non-porous.
It seems that way. I mean, for what it's made for, I would think they wouldn't want like pores for microbes to get in there for what they're using it for. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely not.
It's kind of polarizing. Like either you love or hate the color. Now, I would love to take credit for this, although I certainly cannot because I never thought about it. But I can't even remember who the first person to say it to me was. But they were like, "Oh, what a cool way that you've sort of had a modern take on the classic yellow Delrin that Case used to use." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was doing."
Somebody said that immediately to me too.
Yeah,
it was
one of the guys at Knife Center, I think, who said it to me first, and I was like, I cannot believe I even have a yellow Delrin case, and it never occurred.
Exactly what you were trying to do.
Yeah, totally planned that. That was my thought all along.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's funny. Somebody's asking for a Jetstream update. The update is I don't have one yet. Again, we're not I'm trying not to bother them. We're not at the 60-day mark yet. But I will definitely be reaching out to them this week for an update. Just haven't been pounding them because guys, I rushed them last time and I learned my lesson. I'm going to let them do their job and make sure they get it done right. So I want you to get a good knife.
Sonny asked if it's resistant to scrapes and scratches. It's certainly a durable plastic, but at the end of the day, it's still a plastic. So, I wouldn't consider it, especially with a polish on it. So, like, a slip is included, use it. You know, I've been carrying and using this one. I wear a wedding ring. I'm left-handed. So like there's nothing going on with this knife that I've been using that would concern me with how it's wearing in. But I'm sure you could take a knife, the tip of another knife, and scratch this. So
I'm sure you probably could. It is plastic.
Yeah.
So guys, our 5 versions are the Ultem, the smooth titanium with hand satin, the Toxic Storm fat carbon, the black DLC coated blade and handle titanium with jigging, and the blue dark matter fat carbon. So those are the 5, and they are all $200. So
300.
300. You know what I meant. $299. Thank you. Sorry. Good correction there. They are all $300. So looking good for sure. And there you go, guys. Something for everybody again. That's the most polished Ultem I've ever seen, says JR.
I was really, really happy with it. It's cool. And I'll tell you another thing about this Ultem that I didn't expect. So the professional photography for my website that you were just looking at. So, you know, we do the group pictures too. We use those for the email and for Instagram and stuff, like all the knives together. And I get the pictures from the photographer and I'm looking at them. I'm like, dude, I can see your freaking arm in the Ultem. I can see your camera in the Ultem. Like, we got to retake these group shots, bro. And he's like, wait, what? I'm like, look at the pictures.
Yeah.
You know, he was taking them from straight down and it was just reflecting. And I was like, nope.
The purple Keranite does that. I mean, that is like the most shiny. If I take it, you know, in the wrong angle, it just it picks up everything. So you got to get the right angle.
Yeah, it's polished.
It is. It's very
and they're hand polishing these things. Like, there's more labor involved. So, you know, you guys, if you pick these up, just know that they didn't just crank these out on a machine. There's definitely skilled labor involved in making these bad boys.
Absolutely.
And I'm really happy. I wasn't sure like how people feel about this one, KC, because it's, you know, it's not a clip point and it's not straight edge, which seems to be the safer bet. Like, to me,
but I think a drop point is just such a classic. I mean,
it is.
Everybody
ear points, you know, and they seem to kind of lag a little bit.
Understood.
So I wasn't sure about this. But then on the other hand, Great Eastern Cutlery's version of this knife is always so very popular.
Right.
Now, it's also inexpensive. You know, it's like an entry-level knife from them, so that adds to the popularity. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, so far it's been really well received.
Very cool. I'm glad to hear it. Now, a couple of things while I'm thinking about it before I forget. Is the giveaway still going on, Ben?
Yeah, I think it's going
on. All right,
on.
tell us about the giveaway, man.
So, we promote the giveaways on Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram, you might not see it. But we are doing a giveaway. We're doing 2 giveaways every release cycle. We do one for a couple weeks, and then we start up another one a couple days later. So right now, I think the Ultem one is running right now. And if you want to enter that, you go to jackwolfknives.com/pages/giveaway. Or if you go to my Instagram, it's a little easier because you don't have to type in the URL. You just go to the profile link, and then it goes to the link tree, and then you can just click the giveaway link. And when you go to my website, we use an app called Gleam. It's like a giveaway app or like a website. You pay a monthly subscription to use it. But it's really nice because it lets people enter the giveaways, and then it has a winner generator. And it's kind of nice that Gleam integrates with my email system and all that. So anyway.
Very cool.
I'm glad you like it, Robert. I appreciate that feedback.
All right. Can you hold up the plain tie again?
Yeah.
Freak Show's asking a question, and I think the answer is it's one piece, right? The bolsters are not separate.
Dude. It's one slab. So you don't have tie scales on a tie frame. And you'll notice like what's different about these is that the tie has longer screws. So the hardware is a little different. Like the tie one doesn't have scale screws. It has titanium body screws that go all the way through there's a threaded barrel inside. But anyway, it's the titanium ones are a little different than the inlay versions because or overlay. What would you call these overlays? I just call them inlays for lack of a better.
Yeah, it's an inlay because it's in the whole slab of titanium. Yeah,
it's just not surrounded, but
right. No, it's not. But it's still. I mean, you could call it an onlay too if you want. Oh, look at the light catching that.
Yeah.
Now, see, I personally I don't like the color, but I don't like yellow. Okay. So by the way, everybody's saying, and again, I don't blame people. You got the new Finch coming out that's Friday as well. No hiding that. This is the Stinger, and this is the Ebony Wood. But everybody's saying the yellow bone version is the one to get because it's called the Stinger. But I just don't like the yellow that much. I'm just not. But when you hold that up and it catches the light, that looks really cool.
It's more, I mean, yes, it's more yellow than any other major color, but it's more like honey or amber. I don't know. It's Ultem. It is what it is.
Yeah, you could do a Jurassic Park version and have a mosquito inside the amber there.
That'd be kind of funny, dude.
That's. I mean, look, I like all these versions. They're cool. Now, I'm curious to see. Can you hold up the? You have the black one in front of you, the DLC. So what do you think of that one? I mean, to me, it's got a really. I mean, you don't usually think about a black DLC coated slip joint.
I know.
So it's like totally. I mean, it's the same back to the purple with the black blade. That's why I grabbed it because I was like, wow, this is totally different. But that's cool. I mean, that is flipping cool.
It is cool. So, I don't make anything I don't like. I will never do that. So I like them all. It's just I'm kind of curious.
There you go, Delta. Delta's got a plan here. He says he's torn between the Ultem and the tie, and he said maybe if he buys the tie, he'll win the Ultem.
Well, people do win. I mean, you can't win if you don't play. It doesn't cost you anything to enter. We do get several hundred entries every time, so it's not like a slam dunk for anybody, but people win. So and we give them out, so it's not like we're just hustling and not giving them away.
No, you definitely are.
We're always tagging the winners, and they're showing it off, and it's cool, man. I dig it. It's fun.
Yep. Hey, Chris Hall. Yeah, very cool for sure. I don't know what it is about the black on black. I almost picked that because it was just like that. That's just freaking cool.
It is cool.
You want to say hi for a minute? Okay, come on.
You took my chair.
I took. Oh, it's cut in stuff. Whoops. Hold on a second. Ashlyn wants to sit down and say hi, but I have covered the chair in flashlights and Rit dye.
Did you buy my Rit dye?
The Rit dye's right there.
Did you buy the colors I wanted to?
Yeah. The closest thing I could get to what you wanted.
Nice.
All right, you're a pain. You know that?
Yeah.
Ben, you got a daughter, don't you?
Yeah, I do. She's 13.
No, this one's good. I'll keep her for sure. If you want that, there it is. All right, what do we got here? We got the bunny for tonight, guys. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. So this is bunny number 61. Killer Cowboy Bunny number 61.
Let's see.
You guys ready for this? Let's see what we got here. Whoops.
Oh, that's amazing.
As Casey drops it. That is awesome. He is not happy with you people. Can you see that?
I like his Tempest hat.
Yeah, you like that?
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's pretty awesome.
I love that attitude. You can sense the attitude. It's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
All of them have to have attitude because they're based off of my bunny, which
has attitude. Oh my gosh.
He has an attitude.
He definitely has an attitude. Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, you're paracording.
I mean, kind of. It's different kind of string.
Yeah, that's cool though. Whatever.
But I'm gonna take it and do another layer over top of it. and then it will be
Well, you
later.
got to show what you're doing. See, look, she's doing this little mini cordage stuff here. I don't know. That's cool. The lanyard people would love you. There's lots of lanyard people. I have learned that. That's why my knives now have a lanyard post in the backspacer, because we heard from the lanyard people.
Yeah.
Definitely. So cool. Very cool. Everybody's saying hello, Miss Ash, and giving you some killer bunnies in the
Hello.
chat. So very cool.
Love the new style.
Your new style? Do you have a new style?
I don't know.
I don't know. She's got a Blue Creek Knives hoodie on.
Yeah.
How's it feel to be wearing a hoodie for something that doesn't exist anymore?
I just have a hoodie.
Discontinued.
Discontinued hoodie. Yes, I have one as well. I
just have a hoodie.
And there's still stickers going in every week. Okay, this is a great question. Troy comes up with good ones sometimes. Ben, have you ever thought of doing a little fixed blade? I think with your style that could look pretty cool.
I've thought about it a little bit. I just haven't approached it. Like some of the details outside of the knife or some of the things that I have to figure out too, like what kind of sheath would you want with that? How I'd have to package it different because you're not gonna be able to put it in the tube, obviously.
Right.
Define little,
Tube.
So I'd love to hear some of your guys' ideas about that. Like, give me some feedback. Size.
I have a small fixed blade in the works that I'm excited about, and my idea of small, it's 6 3/4 inches.
Yeah.
It's small.
I feel like if you're talking about small, we're talking sub 7 inches for the whole thing.
Yeah. It's smaller than I'm usually comfortable with, but I've done some things to make it where I think it'll work in my hands. I'm pretty sure it'll work in my hands.
Well, and you got to figure something like that is not a field knife. It's a compromise. So, but yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think about that. And like, what kind of sheath do you guys prefer for something like that? Like leather versus Kydex, belt versus pocket. What do we talking about?
I think the chickadee is like 5 3/4.
Yeah, chickadee is like, right, it's small.
It's very small.
Yep.
I'm not quite comfortable. I mean, I carried the chickadee when I had it. It's a great little dropper. It just, if I want to control something, I want enough handle to control it, but that's just me. Kurt Eisen says, no, not smaller, think bigger. My idea of a small fixed blade is a 3-inch blade, says Jeremy. So that's a 4-inch handle, 3-inch blade, basically. So you're talking right at 7.
Yeah, I mean,
although you don't have to do that in a fixed blade. You don't have to be even.
Yeah, 4-inch handle and a 3-inch blade to me is no longer a small, like where it's semantics here. I would say if we want to call like small, medium, large, fine. 3-inch blade, small. But these little EDC fixed blades that I think people are referring to, we're talking under that. We're talking under 7 inches total.
Right.
So if that's a 3-inch handle, then or a 3-inch blade, it's not a 4-inch handle. It's a 3.5-inch handle.
So the total length of this guy is 6 3/4, right?
Right.
Of the Pioneer. So you're talking, the one I've designed is about this size.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I agree with you. If you want to talk small, this under 7 is small.
Under 7, even closer to 6. But and it depends on like if you're going to carry it on your hip, it doesn't need to be that small. Like it's really when you start talking about having something in your pocket that I feel like this starts to matter. So,
all right. Well, since Ashland's here, we're going to talk art. So I assume this is Sean again, based on what I'm saying, Sean Tiffany.
Yeah, their styles will continue to become more recognizable when you see more work from Gonzo.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Sean all day.
Yeah, it definitely has a Sean Tiffany style to it. So very, very nicely done. More. I wouldn't say it's simple because the detail in the face is incredible. But it's there's not as much going on in the design, if that makes any sense.
When you get when you zoom in to like the bust, then you get more details in the head, but then it's bigger. So like the frame is small on these things, generally speaking.
Oh yeah. Yep.
but it's cool. We had a couple different ideas we kicked around, like him kind of like driving like a covered wagon, you know, like that was my first idea, was like him kind of driving a covered wagon. But
yeah, that's very pioneerish.
But by the time you get that in the frame, everything, you lose too much detail. Everything's too small.
Because you've got a curved thing.
Yeah, and just like something that's hard for me because I don't draw a lot is you have this idea in your head, but then when you try to fit that idea in a small space, it's like, well, that's too much crap we're trying to cram in this little space, and we can't really capture the idea. Now, if you have a big canvas, that's one thing, but the labels are like, I don't know, 6 inches by 5 inches or something is small.
Yeah, I did the same thing in class the other day, to be honest, because like we have perspective drawing is what we're doing in one of my drawing classes. And he wanted us to draw like a barn or a house or something in perspective on the sheet. And I had an idea of what I wanted the barn to look like. But every time I drew it, like I would try to add like, he's like, also, I want you to add some other stuff. And like, I'd have like this big idea and I'd start to draw all this stuff. And then all of a sudden the barn is like over in the corner, like super small now. And like, I have all this other stuff going on. I'm like, where'd the barn go? So it was like, I had this cool idea, but it was too much and it took away from the actual barn. So that it was minimizing everything else and focusing on just the barn. And he was like, I like it better this way. Cause honestly, like, even though you had so much more like stuff going on in the other one, this one is the barn that's what we were trying to get at. And kind of with this, I mean, you could have had the covered wagon and all that stuff, but then that takes away from it being Jack himself, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of what we can't. Yeah. So that's something a good artist, and, you know, Sean will kind of push back on me with some things. He's like, I understand what you're trying to do, but he's like, that's not going to come out the way you want it to, you know? And it's from experience. These guys and girls who draw a lot, they gain that experience and they sort of know right away.
It's got a really cool vibe to it. I like it, and his style's just good. Mm-hmm. I liked Gonzo's too. I mean, it was really cool. But
you'll obviously see more Gonzo stuff coming down the pike, because anything that's a first release is Sean. Anything that's a second release is Gonzo. So
got it. Yeah, you told me that last time.
I mean, I think anybody could figure. I don't got a ton more first releases. Like the well's starting to run a little dry. So
Sean's like, help me. No, but yeah, you know, I thought about this, Ben. We should probably, I don't know how Sean would feel about it, but it would be cool to get him on here for one of these, for even just for 15 minutes, just to talk for a little bit, because I think what he's doing on it's pretty cool. But
he's kind of shy, but I'm sure I could talk him into it.
Yeah. So by the way, I have a list about this long of I'm too shy people. And most of those are knife designers that I've tried to get to come on. People ask me all the time, and I'm not going to call out who those people are, so don't try. But if I haven't had them on, maybe that's a good chance. But, you know, there's a bunch of knife designers that have just told me flat out, it's just not, I don't do well speaking to crowds or being on camera or whatever. Artists, you know, kind of thing. That's how people are a lot of times. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm still like that a lot of the time, but like some settings I'm okay with.
Yep.
That's another thing that takes practice. You have to be willing to get outside of your
they're saying how many drinks is it going to take for you to get Sean on here? There you go. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm just saying it's like anything else. Most people, I mean, some people enjoy public speaking or being in the limelight, but I think it's a really small percentage. Most people, they get immediately uncomfortable with the idea, and then when they go to do it, they get anxiety about it. But
right.
A lot of that is just self-inflicted, you know, negativity. So
I'll tell you what'll cure you of that, because I used to be like that. And then create a YouTube channel, and then you'll just have to get over it.
You just got to do it a few times. And it's like, oh, this really isn't as bad as I thought it was. And
so what's the biggest thing for me? And this goes back to the days of public speaking for my job. a big and to this to begin with. The biggest thing is sticking my foot in my mouth and looking like a dork. But all that happens here when I do that is everybody laughs at me anyway. So what's the difference? Just work through it. It's all good. I'm going to mess up. But it used to just be stress over, am I going to say something stupid and fall on my face? And I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. And the thing is, nobody cares as much as you think they do,
Right.
Most people don't care. Like only you care about you to that degree and what you think of yourself.
Right. They would rather just get a quick little chuckle out of it and move on. So yeah.
Like
they got their own problems.
When I think about it in a singing perspective, because I do singing and stuff most of the time, like obviously, like if you hand me a mic and tell me to sing, I'll be fine. But as soon as you hand me a mic and tell me to speak, I'm like, heck no. But when I think about it
that's weird to me,
on a singing perspective wise, I've heard people that are like super like off key or super flat before sing. And do I remember their names? Do I remember what they look like after that day? No. So is it like that much of a big deal, to be honest? Like you mess up once, somebody might go, oh, ew. And then they're going to forget about it in like a day or two. Like they're not going to be like, oh, you're the person who had that flat note 2 years ago on stage. Like,
not like you'll remember it. No, not at all. All right, guys, what kind of questions do you guys have for Ben specifically? Let's start with any questions on the Pioneer. And
or
then
any
we can
question.
branch out from there.
Any questions.
Or any. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Questions about running a knife business, questions about knives in general. I don't know. Let's talk about stuff.
I have questions about running a knife business.
I thought about you the other day. So
I never called you back. Sorry.
No. Listen, not that. But I was cruising YouTube, laying in bed, and something came across my recommended feed, and it was like an hour and change documentary about Ren and Stimpy. It was super interesting, dude.
Oh, really?
Super interesting. Like I remember I was about 10 or 11 when that cartoon came out. I
was like 25. So
yeah. But what was interesting about it was like the story behind it. Like I didn't know. And
sorry, Tim made me joke.
The guy who created it, his name's John K. He was like what's the word I'm looking for? Like clearly a creative genius. And he grew up like constantly drawing, like all the time.
Right.
And he had this insane talent. And he had this like insane love for old cartoons. And he was dismayed at the state of animation in the 80s because it was all like cartoons I grew up with, He-Man, G.I. Joe, but they were designed to sell toys. Like they weren't pushing the boundaries of animation the way the Looney Tunes did in like the 40s. The art direction sucked. It wasn't very high quality stuff, right? So this guy was trying to pitch animation to all the major networks at the time, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it because they had these popular shows they were buying from Japan and dubbing over. And he went to Nickelodeon. They were looking for a cartoon for Saturday mornings, and he pitched like a lot of his ideas, and the network executive is a female. She saw like this cat and this dog that he drew.
Right.
And it was Ren and Stimpy. She's like, well, I like those characters. Can you build a show around those characters? And so he ended up recruiting all these young animators in the Hollywood, Los Angeles area, like the best talent he could find. And they were working on the show like hour after hour in like an apartment, and they ended up like putting the first episode together and it just exploded.
Yeah.
And then
because it was so irreverent and so different. It wasn't, and
it was like, so like the background paintings were beautiful. Like the emotion in these characters was like, no one was doing stuff like that. And it was borderline inappropriate. So,
sorry,
like the jokes were definitely not exactly for children, they were getting away with a lot. So anyway,
I told you, but you wouldn't believe me.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
And Ren was like an abusive psychopath. You know what I mean?
Right. Completely.
You would feel bad for him because he was such an emotional wreck, even though he was such a dick. And like being a reflection of the creator of the cartoon, who would like slave drive these people through hours of the night, making everything like perfect. He was crazy. And to the point where, because he was such a control freak, they were missing deadlines and having to delay episodes. And then they fired him because he was they couldn't deal with him anymore. And one of the animators who helped him like build the show out took over the whole project, and it was like a whole to-do.
Wow.
And then, because like the guy who created it was basically the guy who almost destroyed it. And then egomaniac, you know?
I swear this fly.
And then like it took a really ugly turn towards the end of the documentary. I didn't know any of this, but he had like a young female fan who like loved his cartoons and would write him all these letters and stuff, and, you know, send him all kinds of drawings. She was like 16 and he was like 40 something probably. And so he had her come work with him, and then she moved in with him, and they had like a not appropriate relationship, you know, him with this young girl. And so it really like tainted the whole legacy of the show.
Right.
And at some point I don't know how he got the rights to it, but they did that Ren and Stimpy adult cart. Have you ever seen that? The Ren and Stimpy adult playtime hour or something, or adult party?
No, I haven't seen that.
Dude, it's like really vulgar Ren and Stimpy cartoons that were on
oh wow.
They were on probably Adult Swim, and it got canceled after like a few episodes because people were just offended.
What is that? Ren and Stimpy, yeah.
It was called Ren and Stimpy adult something. You have to look it up. But anyway, I got sucked into this Ren and Stimpy documentary till like 11:30 at night, you know, and I'm like, what am I doing? But I couldn't put it down. It was really good.
There you go. Well, we asked for questions and we're getting them. The first one was from Kelly Weaver, wants to know if there's going to be a Cyborg re-release.
Eventually,
if you expect Ben to actually answer that question, you're crazy.
Yes, I mean, I would never one and done that model. I love that model, and it was popular.
Good.
So won't say when, but I will say yes.
All right. Tree Stab and Troy, Ben, how's the business side? Is it better than you thought it would be? Is it going as good as
that's a good question. So there's my thoughts and there's my plans, right? Like I planned for a certain trajectory. Whether I thought it would happen, I try not. I'm negative about shit sometimes, but I've learned to sort of just quiet those negative thoughts and push and follow the plan. So what I can say is I've met my goals. So and you know, from an outsider looking in, I think most people would say you're off to a great start. You've met your goals. You have a plan for growth.
Good question.
So yes, I feel really blessed, and I think I've exceeded even my own expectations. But I didn't want to sell myself short and not plan for. I plan for success, you know, even though sometimes I'm like, what am I doing?
Right.
You know,
well, you know, and you and I talked about it. Your plan is what brought you through the prototype issue where you had to start over, you know. You had a plan and you stuck with the plan.
Yeah. And
it's that simple. And I think that's pretty amazing. Drinkwater, I think, Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, the Pioneer is 6 3/4 and the blade is what, Ben?
The blade's 2.93 on the Pioneer, and the handle is what do I got there?
3 3/4.
3.8. Yeah. 3.8 on the blade, basically. And 2.9 or 3.8 on the handle, 2.9 on the blade.
Yeah, you're right.
Am I going to put on a knife with a blade longer than 3.5 inches?
This is Kurt. Kurt wants all knives to be 900.
I don't know,
long,
Kurt.
So
look, you know what, Kurt? At some point down the road,
I got a Kurt knife. I got a Kurt knife here that just came in from Concept today.
That's not what would be in my immediate or near term strategy. But if I can build out a more diverse product line with locking knives and slip joints, then I can I look at it like a bell curve, right? So you have like the middle of the curve, like, you know, 2/3 of it, a third on either side. Like you got to kind of have the mass market stuff. And then if there's enough of the mass market stuff, then you can get on the outside of the curve, maybe some kind of big ass knife or some kind of tiny little keychain knife. But I'm really focusing on sort of that middle 66% right now. And because I'm going to learn so much from doing this of what I would want to apply to those outlier type products.
Makes sense.
And it's scary for me to consider those outlier products because I'm going to sell them to the dealers. And then if they're not possible, now they got a problem. So I got a problem, you know?
Right on. Hey, Big Red. Oh, man. Robert Renone wants to know if you have an elephant foot blade design.
An elephant toe. It's like a sunfish, like a big fat spear blade.
Yep.
I don't. I do get that request from time to time. I appreciate the suggestion because the way I work is like squeaky wheel gets the grease with me. So like if enough people are like, where the hell is the elephant toe? Where the hell is the elephant toe? It's like, all right, I'm going to design the damn elephant toe because like clearly the market's yelling at me. You know,
yep.
I don't get that one enough yet. But it's people like you who can make it happen.
There you go. I don't know what Chris is referring to here, but because I'm not a case guy, but he's saying, Ben, can you do a father-daughter set of some sort, not trying to copy case or anything, just asking for my daughter?
Interesting.
I don't know about like a large, small kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Chris, the closest thing I got would be the big bro, little bro. That would be a really nice combination for father-son, father-daughter, mother-daughter. Like,
can we get a little bro update by any chance?
November. We're scheduled for November. Yeah.
Awesome.
I gave that one away because guys have been waiting, and I feel like I owe it to you guys as to when the hell that knife's coming out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know what's happening with Jack Wolf Knives in November.
Oh
my gosh. This is terrible, Ben. I feel lost. I already know what's happening.
It takes all the fun out of it.
I'm sorry. I'm not meaning to rapid fire you. I'm just trying to catch up. JR is saying any different steels in the future. Are you just sticking with S90 at this point, or what do you think?
No immediate plans to change steel. I'm happy with the S90. People seem to be too. I get the sense that people tire of a steel at like they shop steels because they want something new. So when I would change is TBD. What I would change to is TBD, but I would like to hear what you would like to see. Now, you know, some super bougie steel at some super duper high heat treat, that's not necessarily doable because first of all, they don't have access to all those steels. And second of all, when you start asking for these crazy heat treats from these manufacturers, there is a lot of pushback. And I can tell you exactly why, because they can't afford to have problems with warping or problems with failure.
Right.
And not only that, but you will blow through freaking belts trying to grind that stuff like it's nobody's business. So, you know, just keep in mind the context of a quality, reasonable heat treat on a readily available super steel is where I would be. And I think that's fair. You know, trying to produce hundreds of knives a month, they need to be able to reliably do that. Now, you know,
100%. You don't want flakiness going on with that. You want to be sure what's happening.
Right. And like, you don't want to ask them to do something they can't do. And then like they screw it up. And now I got this big problem. So.
All right. Next question, Ben, here's your squeaky wheel, my friend. You ready for the squeaky wheel? There it is. When's the cotton sampler coming? You've seen this one 100 times.
Yeah. So that's like one of those patterns, like a elephant toe.
Yeah.
So I look at that as like a pattern that's loved by a vocal minority, you know, and it's like such an obscure knife to the non-slip joint guy, you know, like, are you giving someone a reason not to buy it when you produce a knife like that? Sure, you give a small group of people the reason to buy it, but I feel like because it's so odd with the huge ricasso that you're giving people a reason to be like, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Understood.
If I was doing small batches of custom knives, like 25, 30 pieces. So Chris, that's in the works, dude. That's happening. I mentioned that. I said when the Facebook group hit 1,000 people, we're going to do a coin. It's happening. It's happening soon.
Very cool. Very cool.
Look at this thing.
See, I knew I'd get. Oh, there you go.
The way
Cool?
Okay, that's awesome.
This thing's
The way
freaking huge.
he talks about
Uh-oh.
whether or not he's gonna do something or not reminds me of the stuff we're learning in entrepreneurship class.
Yeah, he's a businessman. That's what the guy is.
Exactly. It's just like
Yep.
the stuff we're doing in my entrepreneurship
I knew
class.
I'd get Kurt Ison's attention with this. Kurt, this is the newest concept knife. Shoot, what's the name of the dumb thing? I can't remember. It's not dumb, actually. I'm dumb because I can't remember the name of it. It's the something another. It's going to bother me until I look it up. It's called the Calibri Tech. Calibri Tech, and it is like 10 inches. It is a big, thin knife. Look at that snout. There's your elephant right there, Ben. Looks like an elephant. An alligator. Yeah, there you go. Like a what are the ones with the more spiky end? Shoot, it starts with a C or a K. Cayman. Yeah, Cayman. That's what you got right there. It's pretty crazy. 4.5-inch blade or something like that. It's yeah. It's a big old knife. All right. I answered that one. Something. Whoa, what just happened? I was trying to read the next.
Find out if there's an official Jack Wolf collab with Ash regarding stickers and other related merch. We're farther along than you would ever know on that. So, yep, there's going to be. I won't give it away. We like to keep surprises around here, but the answer is yes.
Yep. And by the way, guys, and the reason I'm glad Ben said that is if you want to do a sticker or you want to do something, she is available for commissions. Just work through me, or if you follow her or whatever on Instagram, check with her. But she basically, let's put it this way. She's in college and she's got a job that because she told them she had to work less hours for college, they basically trimmed her hours almost completely out, and she's got to have gas to get back and forth to school. So, if you guys want to commission her to draw something, just be reasonable with the time. I think Ben will tell you she does pretty good with that. And
trust me, I've worked with artists who who are so unreliable. She communicates fast, does good work, easy to communicate with. If you guys need a project, have Ash do it before she gets too busy.
And now that she's getting really good at the digital stuff, and I think Ben can attest to that, I think, she can do just about anything. She will probably tell you there's things that she's not comfortable with yet, but I think she's getting more out of her comfort zone than she ever has. Would you agree with that?
I learned how to do a lettering.
Yeah. She was scared of your lettering, Ben.
Well,
so
we started
figured it out.
Well, my graphic design class started using stuff like InDesign and Adobe Illustrator and stuff, which made it a lot easier to do that stuff because you can't really do typing like font wise on Procreate unless it's like straight. Like it you can only do it straight, and it doesn't really.
Well, I said you need to get out of your comfort zone and figure stuff out. And when you try to figure stuff out, you figure it out. So, All right, Ben, here we go. Squeak, squeak. Bring back my Carta. Squeak, squeak. There you go. Jeremy, come on, man.
I never said never. So.
Yep, he did not. Hey, Lauren, what's up, man?
There.
Is there going to be any different? Well, I think the biggest difference between the original Little Bro and this one is there won't be any blade wrap.
Well, yeah, and it's not going to be. Yes, I mean they'll be different. Like the blade shape, the handle shape, all that's the same. The cover materials. I mean, I had 3 micarta and a carbon fiber when I did that. Like that's not going to be the case. There's going to be 5 variants. I'm not going to tell you the cover materials because I'm a bastard like that, and I'm going to make you wait, but I'm going to tell you there's not going to be 3 micartas like there was the first time. So those micarta Little Bros, like those are pretty rare.
Mine is did I do that wrong? I did. No, I didn't. The one I have the what is it, the orange dark matter? I think that's
dark matter copper.
Dark matter copper, that's what it is. So That was pretty sweet. Guys, I just put Ashlyn's email in the chat, and please don't just email her for weird stuff. It's for commissions.
It's just my art one.
It's her
so
art
I'm not
one.
Too
so
worried about
yeah, I understand. So just be respectful. You know, I will come after. No, I won't. But anyway, Ben, you hinted at a budget run, maybe 14C. Any thoughts? Says Big Red.
I've been thinking a lot about that. I think it's a logical thing to do. That idea is up there on my list. So if that's something you guys want to see, I want to hear about it.
I think it would be very interesting to see how it would do, and I actually think it would do really well.
I think in today's market, it's a smart move.
Now, maybe Ben, maybe what you do is you do a first run of that, and you do it in just, you know, rather than 5 handle materials, you do it in, you know, a couple and try. I don't know, but you don't ever do anything halfway like that. So, who am I talking to?
Like, you got to think about. Let's explore this idea a little bit. So, for price segmentation,
I lost you.
That's all right. Tell me when you're back online.
Are you there?
Testing. KC.
That is weird. She left the room with the other earbud, and now I can't hear you. Now I got it. Okay. I think I got it.
So Leland asked a question. Couldn't I just lose the fancy packaging? It's not going to put a big enough dent in the price to lose the fancy packaging. Like, not only that, but if you're going to have knives at 2 price points in the market, first of all, they've got to be different enough in their prices. And then secondly, they have to have different value propositions. So you're going to achieve that not only through your packaging is one way to accomplish that goal, but also through your material selection and the manner of construction. So it's easy to say something like that. Oh, just do one in a less expensive steel. But I think there's more to it than that. You have to look at every single aspect of the knife.
I agree completely.
How it's packaged and how it's marketed. And I don't want to have, like, I will not have my brand associated with poor quality. So like that I will not do. You know, so, but like quality doesn't have to equal expensive. There's ways to bring the cost down. So, and I've said this on a different podcast, like if you have an unlimited budget, you can always deliver quality. So when you're trying to deliver quality at a lower price point, it becomes much more challenging. I think you did a great job. You've done a great job with quality at a lower price point than some of your competitors. So I think that's like, you've really fit that niche.
That's what I'm trying to do for sure. I mean, it's like, you know, you guys are going to find out. I'm weird, Ben. You know, for example, knowing that the Jetstream was a little more expensive, I didn't go way up to a fancy schmancy box, but I went to a nicer box that you know, the budget boxes that I was doing for the first 2 knives. I just thought, yeah, not, you know, they're kind of more crushy. So I went to a nicer box, which means I had to go to a bigger, nicer one of these because I'm not just going to put them in a foam box. I mean, a foam envelope. I want people to get something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got to, like you said, you got to fit that niche of what the people are paying, what you know, what your costs are and everything else, and it's not as easy as people think.
No, as you tighten that belt, everything, there's less wiggle room everywhere, you know.
Well, that's like I decided I gave a price and started the pre-order, and then decided midway through to do milling on the handle scales. That was not a free change, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I didn't change the price. I just, you know, sometimes you got to make choices to be able to give what you're doing value. And I think, you know, in that case, that's what I did, you know, is I decided to do that. And a couple other things here and there. So it, you know, it is what it is. No, Ashlyn does not only draw bunnies. She started with almost all anime stuff, if you will. Oh, that's kind of cool. She just showed me this little, I guess it's a cat, right? Let's see.
Cowgirl.
Cowgirl. Got it.
Very nice.
That's pretty. There you go. Finally focused. It
Yeah,
is a cow. Okay. A cowgirl. You get it?
It's not a cow. She's got a cowboy hat on. It's just a normal girl.
What are you talking about?
You
Casey?
said it was a cowgirl. I don't know. You confused me.
You said
A
cat.
girl, like a cowboy, but
Literally
a girl.
Are
So
you blind?
I am. I don't have my. I literally am not wearing my glasses on purpose right now. Yeah, now you can tell. Okay, fine. All right, leave me alone. I don't have my glasses on. All right, I'll put my glasses on.
Put
Now
your
I
glasses
can
on,
see.
Stevie Wonder.
Sheesh. All right, so I think the answer to this better be a yes.
Yeah, true.
Been any more
So
style
I've been
here?
out of design mode for way too long, but I could afford the time off because I brought Donnie on and Kim on. Donnie's wife's also putting in some part-time hours for me. So I've been in training mode. And for the few months before that, I was just in like, oh my God, I got to do all this myself mode. And there hasn't been a lot of time for design. But I called you Troy. More than anything, I'm interested in designing stuff in my own style because I've got a lot of the classics. I'd like to do some more Ben stuff, honestly. Now, hey, that's not funny, but it's an interesting comment that you just had up there from Tim. So Kieran Knight is not
kind of a
budget
mix
material.
There. Not going to be a budget material, right?
Man. Like, holy cow, by the time I sourced it and sent it over and paid all the import taxes and all that stuff, like, not a budget material, unfortunately.
All right, so here's JR giving you an example of what he's
yeah, okay, let's talk about that. So
okay,
he could really hit that price point because that knife's linerless. Like, there's no titanium or steel liners in that knife at all. It's a blade, a spring, 2 pieces of G10. Like, G10 is as cheap as it gets. So, and I think just personally, I'm not a huge fan of linerless knives. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. They function great. They're super lightweight. But I always feel like, I don't know, I just prefer having some kind of frame or liner, you know? So he was really able to keep that price down because it's linerless. But yeah.
A Barlow in 14C would be. There's been, I got to tell you, that is, since Big Red said that, that's the most comments we've had in support of a concept in this chat is a budget Jackwolf. But I hear you.
I kind of hinted about it, and I've been kind of fishing for sort of people's feedback on that on a couple different live streams. To me, I kind of like it. I just the idea requires exploration, prototyping, and guys, the other thing too is to do something like that, you've got to really think through like the story, the narrative, like how this fits in the family of the brand, how people can understand. As someone using a good analogy the other day, like, okay, here's a brand that's done a really good job of distinguishing 2 products lines, Cadillac, Chevrolet, right? Like, Chevrolet has an image, has a fan base, has certain expectations from the customer. So does Cadillac. I mean, it's based, very much a similar vehicle. The Cadillac has embellishments,
right?
But people love both of them. So that's what I would want. I would want people who love the Cadillac, people who love the Chevrolet, maybe guys, they own a Cadillac and they have 5 or 6 Chevrolets, or guys who enter into the Chevrolet and then upgrade to the Cadillac at some point. But like, point is, there's love for both. I don't want to be in a situation where you create something that just gets washed out, or like people can't understand why both exist.
You're making all good points. And I guess it depends on Ben. You can define the budget. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You don't have to say, everybody's saying 150 or whatever. I mean, you can, if you're at 300 right now and you come down to 200 with something, I mean, you've accomplished what people are saying. If that's all you're comfortable with is keeping it titanium and keeping it that way, then it is what it is.
I mean, ultimately, I'm limited by
Keith. What are you doing to Ashlyn over here, man?
I'm limited by what I can get, first of all, from the manufacturer. And like I said, I'm not interested in a sacrifice in quality. So if it means like stamped knives with gaps.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh at this bit. I'm sorry. Jack Chihuahua knives for the budget line. That would be good.
That's funny.
Okay, fine. Not so much. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I guess what I was saying is, I'm limited by what's available to me also. So it's going to end up like costing what it costs to get what I want. And then if it's not economically feasible, I can't do it. Or I got to go to another manufacturer, and then that makes the timetable twice as long or 3 times as long. So hopefully I can stick with my manufacturer, get what I want. The price works. I get the whole thing to make sense for me, sense for the dealer, and sense for you guys. And that's
nice, Nick.
A tall order.
Yep. Nice, Nick. You're going to love it, man. If you can get a hold of one, it's every bit of a sodbuster style knife with Ben's flair to it. I mean, it definitely very, very cool. And again, a little thicker, but the difference is not like, oh man, this is really thick. This is still very thin and very, very slicey and sharp.
Let's see here.
Yeah, don't mess with it. Don't mess with a Jack Wolf knife as far as sharpness. Trust me.
Someone said it may be harder to go from a premium knife to a budget knife. Now, that's an interesting thought, Sonny. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would think intuitively, I don't know. Is it easier to go up market or down market, as they say? Like, I don't know. I feel like that. I don't know. That is a thought-provoking question, is what that is.
It really is. It really is. And it's the same thing with if you do a budget one and people really like it, are they going to want you to just keep doing those and not do the premium ones anymore?
Right. I don't know.
So,
I mean, it's very thought-provoking. I think you can make a case for either. You can make a case and say, all right, people see what you're doing at $300 price point and they really like it. It's just a bridge too far. And so they're awaiting you to bring an offering to them that's more palatable. So, maybe that's a successful opportunity. Or you build a fan base at the lower price point, at a $200 price point or whatever, and people really like it. And they're like, well, most people migrate up market over time. So they're like, boy, I'd really like to see something from you in a insert nicer steel here, insert titanium instead of steel, insert fancy carbon fiber instead of G10. Right. So, I think you can probably go either direction, but I think you have to look at it on a case-by-case basis, like in the context of the brand, in the context of the existing product offering. Does this make sense? Does this serve an underserved segment of the market in this person's catalog? That's kind of the way I think about it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, let me catch up on a couple here. Richard Kaufman, thank you so much for becoming a member, sir. There is your Dalika salute. Appreciate you. If you've not been a member before, Richard, send me an email, knivesfast@gmail.com. I cannot remember if you've been a member before. I thought you had, but anyway, I'll send you some stickers if you have not. And speaking of members, Bluminati's been doing it for 16 months. Thank you very much, Bluminati. I appreciate you, brother. And then Jay Richard wants to know if there's any Jetstream updates. Not yet. I've been trying. I asked them last week, and they haven't answered me yet. So I'm probably going to ask in the next day or two again for an update. Just so you guys know, I have a lot of irons in the fire. So sometimes you have to pace your communication. Ben knows what I'm talking about. You got to kind of be careful not to overload people with too many questions. But yep. And that's awesome that you're getting into disc golf. And if you guys don't think I'm crazy enough for how much content I do over here, Go check out Stuff KC Does on YouTube. That's my second channel. Also on Instagram. It's mostly turned into disc golf, but now Trevor's got me playing pickleball, and I think we're going to do some hikes coming up. And
fishing?
I want to do some more fishing. I haven't gotten to, but if you guys are interested in that channel, go check it out. We are about, I think, like 6 away from 300 subs already. And so that's pretty stinking cool. So if you guys are interested, go check out. It's just one word, Stuff KC Does. Check it out. So very cool, Jay Richard. Thank you for checking that out.
I got a question. He asked it twice. I have the original little bro. When it returns, are there going to be any differences in it from the original release? The only mechanical difference or structural difference would be the issue inside where the blade was striking the hump in the blade well, the spring hump. Well, obviously we fixed that. The handle, the blade, all that stuff's the same. The handle, the cover materials will be different. That's it. But otherwise, the same knife visually appear same packaging. I didn't do all new packaging because I was able to salvage the tubes and pogs and stickers from when I recalled them all. I didn't want to throw all that stuff away. That'd be wasteful.
And I get asked this a lot, so we'll go ahead and do this here. There's the little bro and the big bro together. The difference is not like huge, but it's definitely a difference.
It's there. Yeah, when you look at the numbers, you're like, they're not that different, and it's not night and day, but it's big bro, little bro, you know?
Yep, very much so. So, yeah, that'll be a good one for you in November. I'm sure a lot of people have really been excited looking out for that one. So
I do get asked about it a fair bit.
Yep. Where'd that go? I dropped a slip.
You dropping things?
You know, never. Everybody say hi to Scarlett. Hi. Is that all they get? She's been sick, so she's pretty miserable. If she was down here, she'd just be coughing constantly. So it's good that you're upstairs today.
Richard Kaufman asked a good question. Another thought-provoking question. Where is the line between budget and premium? Is it price, design, make, or what? So obviously it's up for subjective. But I think price is the obvious answer, but it's also going to be reflective of, like, these are the quantifiable items that you could draw your conclusion. Price, materials, fit and finish, extras. You know, anybody else want to add to that list? Like, when I say material, the steel that's used, the handle materials that's used, the metal that's used for the frame, features, you know, like milling, lock bar, titanium hardware, you know, all that little stuff really adds up. Hollow grinds, you pay more for hollow grinds.
Absolutely. Yeah, people don't, I think it's something we can expound on here without getting too boring. People don't realize how much what they consider a small change can sometimes make. You know, it's we have these conversations sometimes. You know, the handle materials. Well, I can't go into what I was about to say, but you know, you learn things about handle materials that you think are going to be pretty affordable, and then you get a price for them, and you're like, oh, and you know, it wises you up, and you think, wow, you know, a premium really means premium. You know what I'm saying? And so some of that, I don't think we all quite think through that, you know, those changes, and how big of a deal. Now, in some cases, like I talked about with the milling lines, or like you talked about with maybe Ultem or the extra polishing or whatever, sometimes as designers or businessmen, we're able to maybe eat that on a particular one or do something or whatever. And sometimes you just can't, and you have to pass it along. So it's, I mean, I don't know, you can go into that further if you want, but it's just, I think that the changes you guys think sometimes of, you know, a simple little change that wouldn't cost much, sometimes they actually do. You know, it just depends.
Yeah, and everything compounds. So an increase from the manufacturer potentially is an increase for the brand and an increase for the dealer, because
JB
margins are calculated off the cost of the product. So
yeah, and here's the thing, Richard, everybody's line is in a different place. I mean, for me, I consider a budget knife anything under $100. But and then there's like a mid-level. And I lived for a long time in the $100 to $200 range as far as purchasing, and my limit. Now I've gone up. My highest knife I've bought is about $375, which I said I would never do, and I've done it a couple of times now. So it's just, I guess it depends on your pocket and what you're willing to. There was a great conversation about this on RJ's Live yesterday. Some of these guys, their idea, they're never going to spend over $50 on a knife. And that's their prerogative. Some other guys said they're never going to spend more than 200 or 300, or whatever. Everybody's got, your budget dictates kind of what budget is to you.
I mean, maybe not even your budget, just your sensibilities or your willingness to spend. Like a guy could have saved his whole life, have $10 million in the bank, and couldn't dream of spending $100 on a pocket knife because, in his opinion, it's just a disposable tool. I buy one at the gas station or the hardware store. I'd never spend that kind of money on a knife. Then you got guys that are buying and selling and owning $1,000+ customs like they're pairs of shoes, So big broke Jack. That's hilarious. So that's why it's so subjective. Like if you said to me, what's a budget knife? I'd say anything under $200 would be my thought. But see, this guy's got his own tiers under 100.
Yeah, I said everybody's is going to be different, and it depends on your, I think it might be more like what you said than what I said. Yes, your pocketbook dictates it, but it's your sensibilities as well of what is a knife worth to you. But I can tell you guys, for example, I mean, we've talked about it. Probably one of the most expensive knives that I've bought in recent time is that Berg Blade Sweeney, and it's carbon fiber and titanium with a 20 CV blade, and it was $345, I think, with shipping. To me, the Riot quality, as far as the fit and finish of that knife, I can tell it very easily. The difference in the detent and how crisp it is, the difference in the way they hit, the chamfers and the blade grind. Sometimes if you get a knife under, let's say $150, sometimes I've seen reviewers go on and complain about a blade grind not being completely even or being a little wavy or stuff like that out of the factory. And the reality is, if you've got a $60 or $70 knife, that's going to happen sometimes. I mean, it just is.
They're cranking them out,
and
they can't afford to spend the time. Yeah. So look, let's just put it like this. I think the best thing we got going for us as a community right now is there is literally endless choices at every imaginable price point. Now more than any other time. Roll it back 10 years. You did not have the choices you have today in all of these price points. What an amazing time to be into knives. Yeah, I mean, a Tony Bowes custom slip joint right now is probably $4,000 because it's collector value. But even
he's not making it anymore. So exactly.
But even like a table price, go to a knife show, go to any of the custom slip joint guys in the South Texas Cartel, any of those guys, and there's nothing on the table. The majority of the stuff on the table is 800 and up. And anything under that, you're starting to look at fit and finish issues.
Yep.
The Case Bowes collaborations, what I think these guys are talking about, the production.
Yeah, I think that's what they're talking to.
I mean, those are really well made, but you routinely see those trade in the hundreds of dollars, So I don't know. There's just a lot of good choices out there.
Yep. I mean, it's, and I don't know about you, Ben. I guess I picture you more as a guy who makes up his mind and sticks with it. But I painstakingly sit here and kill myself about pricing. I try my hardest to get as low as I can. But I also have a mark, when I price stuff of what is it worth to me, and what do I want, what do I want to get out of it from the manufacturer? Where do I want the level to be with the manufacturer? I don't ever want to do something that, gets to you guys and you're like, ugh. And I think most of you, when you get a microburst in the hand, you're very pleased with that. And I'm trying to keep it at that. But it's tough, man. I'm telling you, figuring out what the right price is, and figuring out what that's going to look like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down the road for me, when my knives sell a little bit slower, is tough. It's tough to figure out pricing and what to do with it. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, as a business person, you agonize over those details. And for me, it's my full-time thing. Like, I've got everything riding on it. So I've got to be disciplined to make sure that I'm valuing my time correctly and that I'm not wasting my time or undervaluing my time, because I got to make a living. But at the same time, I can't just see dollar signs in my eyes and price these things out of the market, So it's like you're trying to box yourself in, and then understanding what you can afford for the actual cost of the product, and then trying to negotiate the best deal you can from the manufacturer to fit this equation that has essentially no wiggle room in it. It's like walking a tightrope, and it's really hard, And
I
it's
agree.
not the most lucrative thing. Like, honestly, running a knife business, it's not the most lucrative thing. There's other pursuits that have higher financial reward for the amount of time spent, like in real estate, or, there's other things I could be doing with my time that are more lucrative, but I love what I do. So there's like an intangible value there. But I also can't work for free. No one can do that, So you got to make some money. But
I think it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation. It's I think you run into more people that kind of go, well, what am I going to use a knife for in my given day? I don't have knives. I run into more of those people in my given day than I run into people like us. And so it's a very niche market. For example, I think Ashlyn actually, she gets knives and she uses them. My wife uses them some, and Trevor does, but I got two of my sons that are like, I got a couple knives, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. It's a more niche place to be, if you will.
It is very niche. Like, all right, here's an interesting way to look at this. We all watch YouTube. Here we sit, right? We all watch a lot of YouTube. I don't even watch regular TV anymore. Basically, I pretty much watch YouTube.
I don't either.
So we all have other hobbies. So pick another hobby you have. Maybe not disc golf. It's also pretty niche, but maybe even disc golf. But like cars, firearms, watches, golf. Okay. Pull up 10 of the major content creators from those hobbies, and look how many more subscribers they have, how many more viewers they have. Like, you can get a sense of how small our hobby really is when you compare our hobbies to other hobbies and look at the channels that support those hobbies. Like, we are small.
I agree completely. I mean, if you look at like gaming channels, you look at any of these other, they're blowing us out of the water. It's just the way it is.
Water.
I mean, I mean, they make somebody like Metal Complex or Cedric and Ada or whoever the big channels, what's Best Damn EDC, whoever it is, they make them look like tiny little channels.
Yeah, and just channels over 100,000 subs in the knife niche. I mean, is there even 10? And I'm not talking about like outdoor camping channels that do reviews on tents and they do knives sometimes, but they do all the outdoor stuff. I'm talking like EDC,
like real EDC channels. Yep.
We're small.
Yeah, I will not be getting into watches. You're good. Hello, JS Bladecraft. Good to see you. All right, guys, let's do something real quick now. We are going to do a giveaway here in a little bit. And a couple of rules here. Number one, U.S. addresses only. Number two, guys, I want to ask for you to listen. There's been some kind of abuse of people using multiple accounts. I ask you to be respectful of everybody in this chat and use one account, one profile per person. Okay. What is that? Do you hear that? Okay. Something's beeping. Hopefully it's not a fire alarm. Oh, I know what it is. It's the dehumidifier full of water. Okay. Forget it. If just guys, all I ask is enter once, don't log into 12 accounts and do it. Just be respectful of everybody else here. I can't come to your house and strangle you or anything, but I ask that you just be respectful.
Well, not only that,
please.
Why would you do that? It's almost like why would you do that? That's lame. Don't do that. Even if you're tempted to
don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. It's like shoplifting. Like, why would you do that?
Yep.
It's like you're stealing from someone else by entering multiple times. You're stealing someone's.
Yeah, more likes. Good one, James. Yeah, more likes, guys. I haven't looked at how many there is, but definitely hit that like button.
Glory in winning if you.
I don't know. To me, it's just like people that. I mean, there's been people that cheat at gambling and cheat at everything. It's just like, what do you? I mean, do you really need it that bad? And in this case, you're just winning a knife. So
all right. So let's say you.
Hey, JS, hold on, Ben. JS Bladecraft. It is case sensitive, so you'll need a capital P in Pioneer. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say, let's say you could figure out how to go count cards at the casino and win. Well, all right. So what? You took the freaking gigantic corporate casino for a little bit of money one day.
Right.
That's not the same as stealing from someone here in the knife community or taking advantage of KC. He's not the house at the casino.
I am not the house.
No, just don't be a dick and enter one time. Come on. Even if you won that way, you wouldn't feel good about yourself,
Yep. All right. Enough preaching, but I kind of feel passionate about it because I want people to people to enjoy being here. And there's been some people that have been a little bit upset with the perceived cheating. And we have very good evidence of at least one case where somebody's using a ton of accounts. It's just not cool. What?
I just got karma for making fun of you for dropping things all the time. I threw my scissors.
Oh, you threw your scissors?
Yep.
That's not very good. But anyway, so let's go through this, Ben, before I actually do the giveaway. So this Friday, the 22nd, at 2 p.m. Eastern. Guys, if you want to know the dealer list, the best place to go is jackwolfknives.com. Right at the top, he's got authorized dealers. Just click there. That'll tell you. Hopefully, you already have your favorite. I would think we're at that point that most people that know you, Ben, have already picked their favorite dealer. There are 5 versions. This is the Dark Matter Fat Carbon Blue. Ben just showed the Ultem version. They're in S90V. That is the the something blasted titanium.
Dark blast.
Dark blast titanium
with hand rub.
That is, it just looks so good with the triple flutes, man. It's cool. Very, very cool. Blade Capone. Jeremy's already got his reserved.
Toxic Storm.
Toxic Storm Fat Carbon.
And black. Triple black.
Operator version, guys. A jigged operator. How about that crap? That's pretty awesome and unique right there.
Yep.
Black on black with jigging. That is awesome. I like it. And was that all 5? Yeah, that was all 5. Yep. All right. Well, so guys, don't forget it is this Friday coming up. And as always, there are certain ones that will go quick and I always have my guesses, and I'm actually right most of the time. So personally, I believe that one's going to go immediately. The Ultem will go immediately. And from there, I think it's a crapshoot, Ben. I really do. I don't know. I usually have a first and a second. If I had to pick a second right now, I actually think it's going to be the black on black.
You know what? I'd guess the same. So
yeah, I think that would be my second. And I don't want to go any further than second because I have no idea. So get jiggy with it. Yep. But yeah, Murdered Out is sick. It's a Gonzo. Show me another Murdered Out slip joint. Somebody find me one. I'm not familiar with one. If you've seen one, I would love to see it. That is cool.
You know, at first I was like, I don't think there's even another Ultem slip joint, but then I remembered Tactile Turn has one.
Oh, they did the bear in it?
I think so. Yeah, I saw it at the Blade Show.
Okay, look, everybody's guessing now. Tim says Toxic Storm Ultem black on black sell the fastest. Okay.
I hope Toxic Storm. I really like it. We haven't done it since the Cyborg. It's just, I don't know about, I always worry about yellow. I worry about yellow because it's certainly not the most popular color, but this is yellow and everybody seems to love it. So, like I said, I can never figure out exactly what people want.
Well, and this is the other part that we talk about, Ben. This is what's so hard. I mean, I'm sitting here with close to 200 of these micarta microbursts on my site, and you remember when I started working on these, micarta was the thing.
Yeah.
And now everybody's sort of moving away from micarta. It's very interesting. I think it's your fault, actually. I actually blame you. When Ben said no more micarta, the world went, all right, thanks, Ben. And they stopped buying my knives. So it's actually, wait a minute. I'm on to something here, Ben.
How you just logic that up.
No, my point is, it's so hard. You're working 6 months ago. It's hard to know what's really going to, and so the Toxic Storm, you think, is it really going to be popular? And then there's 10 other things between when you order it and when it comes out.
No doubt.
And you're like, oh, great. So it's just, blame Lefty. I'll blame Lefty. That's fine. He likes micarta though. So I don't know. But yeah, if you want a microburst, definitely go to tempestknives.com. So very, very cool. There's something so gangsta about a Murdered Out knife. I can't even say gangsta and not sound like an idiot. So I'm sorry. I tried there. It sounded terrible. If you're not in on the giveaway yet, and no, I haven't shown what we're giving away yet, please get in by doing the hashtag one time per person, please. One time per profile. Let's say it that way. Oh my goodness. I like the tactile sensation of the micarta compared to carbon fiber. See, and that's the thing. Everybody's kind of different. And it's interesting, and there's so many flavors of carbon fiber these days. It's hard to even do it that way. Credit for trying. Thank you, Salamando. Hopefully Ben knows I was kidding. I am not actually blaming Ben. If you guys don't know me yet, all I do is joke around. So did somebody say Stevie? Stevie's in the house. What is going on? Man, we're getting the celebrities in here tonight.
You got 102 people in here right now.
Yeah, very cool, very nice. So we'll show off the giveaway stuff here in just a minute, and we'll draw very soon. And yes, stick around, please, because you'll need some instructions on how to win. Actually, our winner last week did come forward, guys. For those of you that were panicking that they missed it. They definitely did come forward. So all good. And sorry, I sound terrible. I'm still fighting off the ragweed here, Ben. You probably don't even know what that is, but I am highly allergic to ragweed, and it is the worst it's ever been, they're saying, and I have been literally dying. I prefer micarta for the grippiness. I always think about how I'll be using a particular knife, and being able to keep good hold on it is important. Yep. Absolutely agree. And I think the micarta on the microbursts and on the micarta that was on the Jack Wolves they have, I think very good micarta. I think it definitely is. Very nice.
Let's do that. Let's draw.
All right, let's real quick show here now. The winner tonight, you need to understand. I hope you would like the knife and you don't really care about the box. This is the box that USPS decided didn't need to be any good. But it's not about the box, it's about the knife. This is the Ray Laconico designed Artisan Sirius in black G10. And yes, I am serious. Come on. Very funny and very cool. Ray Laconico designed, very thin, slicey knife. Whoops. Blade is very thin. Very, very thin. Is it Stevie's birthday? Happy birthday, Stevie.
Man.
Thank you, Keith, for using $2 of your hard-earned money to let us know that it's Mr. Stevie's birthday. And I have buried my Dolica. There we go. All right. Thank you very much, Keith. All right. So you get that knife, and I'm going to put it back in the afflicted box. You get a tool-along sailboat from our buddy Tim B, which is a multi-tool. You get a Issuing Stitches Hank here. It's kind of all the states and kind of has a Route 66 theme going on there. It does have microfiber. You get a, wow, there's so much stuff here. i3T EOS in orange with a little rechargeable keychain flashlight. Gosh, Ben, I went crazy tonight. You get a, oh, you got one. There you go.
I don't know if that's the same model or not, but I think it's pretty damn handy to have on your keys, honestly.
Yeah. You get a Altoids tin from our buddy Tinker Force. It's got like some little dividers in there that you can store stuff in.
I use mine to store my extra Jack Wolf hardware.
There you go.
Yep.
It's got a place to put your REs here, your Ranger eyes. Very cool.
Keep a rubber band around just in case.
Yeah, there you go. You can throw that away for me. And then a big pile of swag, which includes Butter Knives Fast number 121. I'm hurrying, Ben. I'm sorry. Butter Knife keeping you up. Butter Knives Fast number 121, signed by Mr. Terev, who knows? He's in electrical class tonight, so he hopefully hasn't electrocuted himself. All the stickers, Big Red, Lefty, Bees Blades, Mike Curtis, Illuminati Ninja. There's everything in here. And then Killer Bunny number 61, Killer Cowboy Bunny with the Tempest hat on. So this is somebody's really gonna enjoy that little guy. So that is what we're giving away. So let's roll that beautiful bean footage, and let's see what we got here. Ready? All right, let's put it back up on the screen first, and now we will hit this in 3. Oh wait, there's only 88 entries. What's wrong with you guys? All right, we'll give it 10 seconds. If you haven't entered yet, do it now, guys. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, nobody else. 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, 88's the number tonight. 106 in here. Some of y'all didn't enter. All right, here we go. Matthew Russell. All right, Matthew's always here. Matt. Very cool. Anyone else yawning from watching Ben yawn? There you go. Matthew, send me an email, knivesfast@gmail.com, and I will put this giant pile of stuff in an envelope and get it headed your way, my friend. So send me your name and your address, and I will get it turned around to you probably tomorrow, but I don't ever promise that because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring, if you will. So very, very cool. Ben, I appreciate you, man. First of all, I appreciate you sending me the knife to check out and to give everybody a preview of. I've told you my idea. I've got a pretty cool idea for kind of the final video. I'll probably record that either tomorrow or Wednesday and have it up Thursday probably. Cool. And I have a pretty cool idea for something different to do because Just want to do something different. I've been trying to do some different videos. If you guys didn't see my video this afternoon, check that out. Trying to just do some different content, and you guys let me know if you like it or hate it. And if you hate it, I won't do it again. If you like it, I'll do it again. So very cool. Matthew Russell, you are welcome, sir. There you go, man. Very, very cool. So Ben, thank you. And again, I do need to call you and work on the dealer idea that we were talking about.
Call me over the weekend.
And I'll do it. This past weekend was horrible, man. It was, you don't even want to know what I got into. So just got very busy and very, very crazy. You already hate it, Sal. Jeez. Sal hates my ideas and I haven't even done them yet. That's not very nice. So yeah, guys, check out jackwolfknives.com. Check out the dealer list. Be looking for upcoming knives. And guys, I don't know about you, but I think it's really cool that Ben comes on here and gets grilled basically to a degree about, ideas and, budget knives are a big topic, Ben. It really is. It's not something new. Everybody, lots of people are very much on that bandwagon. So it's something you're going to have to figure out how you want to handle it. And I think it's cool that you come on here and discuss it with us. So very, very, very much appreciate that.
I learn a lot from your audience, and it's important for me to stay in tune with what you guys are interested in. It's I can't do it in a vacuum, that's for sure.
No, you can't, for sure. All right, guys. Well, thanks to Ben. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, go do it. Hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment after a post. Thanks to Ash for the killer bunny. Appreciate you, girl. Say bye to everybody. Okay, there she is. And she's making paracord stuff. I don't even know. Or a centipede, one of the two. I'm not sure. It's a joke. All right. Thank you guys. And thank you, Ben. Everybody have a good one. And thank you so much for watching the Knives Fast channel. Yeah.